Hi, Robin from Corrello here, and I'm just going to talk you through a very simple dashboard in Corrello. So if you're interested in things like Scrum reports or burn down charts or some of the Kanban features like the cumulative flow diagrams and cycle time, there's other videos that cover those. What I'm going to cover in this is just sort of a very basic setup of some of the features that are there in Corrello. I think we'll start here in Trello. So I'll just show you the Trello board that I've got set up, and then we can see how that's looking in Corrello. So it's very simple. We've got three lists here: backlog, up next, and this week. So that's the work which is waiting to be done. That's our backlog lists. Here we've got coding, code review, and test. So that's all of the work which is currently in progress. And then over on the right we've got done. So that's where the cards are going when they're completed. If we look at one of these cards here, you can see we've got some labels. I'm using blocked and bug, and we've got due dates on some of these cards. So back to Corrello here. If I go up to the top level, you can see we've got three tabs. So we've got current, backlog, and history. So current's all about, what's the current state of that board. The backlog is all about what work is coming up, and then the history is how is the board being over time. So you can see if there's any trends developing. And first here, hopefully you can see we've got a big list of numbers which has given us counts of different things. So there's one card overdue on that board. There's three cards are open bugs. There's one card which is blocked. These are all things I configure. So by default you would get the cards in progress, and you get the cards completed on any dashboards you set up. All the others I've added in. It's very simple to do in the editor, but there's also a video which can walk you through doing any of that. And if we wanted to click on one of these, so we're looking at three cards open bugs. Obviously the question is, well, which cards are those? So if you click on that, it'll take you straight in here, and we can actually see which three cards they are. We can see who's assigned to them. We can see when it moved into test, and if there's a due date, when that is. Up the top here as well, we can say, okay, if with three cards it's easy to just look down, but if there was 30 or 40 cards in here but one was overdue, it's just very nice to be able to click straight on that and it'll filter the list down, and you can just see which one card that is. And the same if you change and click on another one, you get that just filtered by the due cards in that instance. So go back up to the top. The other thing you can do with these stats is you can see them broken down by board or by member. So I'm just reporting on one Trello board in this instance, but if you had one for multiple boards you could get that. But if we look at the drill down by members here, so we can click on one of these members and it will show us their stats for what they've got and all the cards assigned to them and where they are. And again, if you click, you can filter and just see that one card which is due for Charlie there. If we go back up to the top level, I can just click on this one here as well and get that same view, and it'll automatically filter it for us when we get in there. So go back up to the top level. Underneath the stats here, we have the recent activity, so you can see what's been changing recently, things like due date changes, what's been moved, any comments people have been adding, things like that. The next tab we'll go to is the history. Because this is an example board I set up in Trello, it doesn't actually have any history, so I'll go and show you that on a different dashboard. So this is a slightly different board I'm reporting on, but it's kind of the same. So you notice here it says sprints instead of weeks. That's just that this board is set up to do sprints instead of weeks. If you're just doing a weekly report, it'll just show you the last 12 weeks in here instead. So you get the last week, how it went, or the last sprint, how it went, and then the average. So this one here is telling us how many cards we're completing on average over time, and you can see the actual numbers there if you hover over it. If you scroll down to the bottom, you've got the same again. So you've got show by board or show by member. So if we look at show by board this time, same stats again, and we get the little history, so you can just see how the trends are developing for each board or for each member over time. And up here is one bit, so this is on regardless, it's really something that Kanban teams are very interested in, but I think it's useful for everyone, so I just put it on for everyone. So this is telling us once we start work on a card, once it moves into in progress, there's a 50% chance we'll get it done in 2 days. That's based on all the cards that have gone through recently. Or there's a 85% chance we'll get it done in 13 days. So you could reasonably say to someone, okay, we're starting work on this task tomorrow, so there's a good chance we'll have it done for you in 2 weeks, but there's a 15% chance we won't have it done for you in 2 weeks. And again, you get the same breakdown by all of the individual lists, so you can see how long it's spending in those individual lists on their way through. So that is the very simple board basic setup for Corrello. Like I say, there's other videos for some of the other features, so do watch those as well. Thanks for listening.